So in today's video, I'm going to show you my whole life operating system and exactly how I organize my entire life. So I've been using this system for like 3 years now, I think, and I love it. It's amazing. And if you're into organization like I am, or if this is the year you have decided you are finally going to get organized, then keep on watching because I think you're going to enjoy this. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to show you how I organize my whole life, and I do it in an app called Notion. And I love Notion, okay? This particular video is not sponsored by Notion, but I love Notion and I've been a Notion girly for several years now. There is a slight learning curve, just like there is with any, productivity, digital productivity system. But once you get the hang of it, it is really easy and I genuinely do love it. So basically what I'm gonna do with this whole video is just put my screen up and walk you through everything, like literally everything page by page. And you can either take this as inspo and copy it yourself, or if you really love this template and want it right away, you can actually purchase it on my website. The link for it is down below. And when you purchase, it comes with a video walking you through exactly how to use it, how to populate it with your stuff, how to customize it and really make it your own. Like in this video, I'm walking you through what it looks like when it's all populated and it's all filled out, for the most part. But when you get the template, obviously it'll be blank. And then I will teach you in that video how to start filling it out. So yeah, of course you can just use this as inspo, or if you just want to start using this right away and you don't want to deal with setting it up or setting up any of the formulas or the connections or anything like that, then that is available on my site and I'll link that down below. You get access to everything in your email right away. Also, just one more thing, I get this question a lot. I only use the free version of Notion. There is a paid version of Notion, but I've never used that. And so my template works perfectly fine for the free version. And one more thing, this is just a one-time purchase, so you can use it for the rest of your life, year after year. You don't have to keep paying annually or anything like that. It's not how it works. It's just a one-time purchase. So instead of getting a new agenda every single year like I used to do, I always just use my Notion and I love it and it works for me. So I'm excited to show you guys everything. So let's just dive right on in. So this is the home page. I love it because it's just so clean and aesthetic and organized. So basically I have things categorized into 3 different categories: the everyday column, dream life column, and the second brain column. So the second brain is kind of like things that we really want to keep track of, but we don't need to be actively keeping track of it in our brain, like in our actual conscious mind. That's why we call it the second brain. And as you can see, I'm just a visual type of person. I love colors and I love emojis. It just makes it easier for me to see and to utilize. Of course, if you do get this template, you can change the colors, you can change the text, you can change the emojis, you can change the photos, you can do all of that. But this is just the way that I like to set it up. So now I'm gonna show you page by page what is in everything, okay? Oh, and I forgot to mention that Notion has a mobile app too, so you can use this on your phone too. So for example, you can see that the home page is just right on here and it's all the same. You have access to all of these pages. And so I love that part of it too. Okay, so this is the agenda page and I just have the agenda for the week. So I have my top 3 priorities of the week right here. I think it's really important to be clear of what your priorities are for the week. And then I also have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend. So I have this little bar in here, as you can see. You can delete it if you don't want it, but I like it because I like to separate work tasks from personal tasks. So work ones are up here, personal are down here. And then on the weekend, I have Saturday up here and Sunday down here. That's kind of just how I view it in my head. And then there's a little calendar in here. It says November. That's just because I'm filming this in November, but it just shows you the date. So if it's actually the week of January 5th, it'll show the January month. And then I just have general to-dos right here for this week, next week, and next month, just so I can keep them top of mind. And then so for my top 3 priorities right here, I also have this as a toggle, so you don't have to view it all the time. You can either have it untoggled or have it closed, it's up to you. And again, you can have this on your phone too, so you can check off things in your agenda on your phone too as you go. And you'll see some things are bold on here, like this team meeting that we have every week, or or this call or appointments. Those are things, I bold those things because they're at like a specific time. They are like appointments or meetings or like social events that are at a specific time. So let me show you how this works. Let me close this for a second. When it's the start of a new week, you can press this new week button and then you can type in, whenever, January, blah, 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 blah. And then it opens up like this. And you can fill everything out. And the cool thing about this too is that you can have it saved for certain things that you do every single day. So for example, on Mondays, we always have our team meeting at 2 p.m. So in my personal Notion, it's just scheduled in there. So every single time I press new week, it already populates with like this right here. So I don't have to fill it out. So you can do that all yourself and make it more personal. But so once the week is over and everything is all checked off, then what I do is I just toggle this closed, and then you can either delete it or you can drag it to this folder right here called old agendas and save it. I just think it's kind of nice sometimes to save it, like just in case you need to go back and look at something. It's just like a little archive. So this is really simple, but it works really well. So now let's go back to the home page and go to the next page in this everyday column, the weekly habit tracker. So this page is pretty simple again, but it works great. So it starts with for reference, goals and yearly vision. So this is linked to another page on our Notion, which I will give you a sneak peek of, but I'll show you this later on. So we will go back to that. So then we have this habit tracker right here. So we have the habits, and then we have the goal number. So this is the number of days you want to do it in a week, right? So some habits are like every single day, right? Like maybe make your bed is an everyday habit, but then working out is probably not every single day. It might be 4 times a week or something like that, right? So this is what this goal number is for. And then once you go through here throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you can see we've completed 6 of them now. So the status bar reaches 100%. So you can see that it kind of changes and you can see that progress throughout the week, which I really love. You can also change the order of this too. Like if you want your week to start on Sunday, you just like drag it over. It's super easy. And again, so how this works is I'm going to toggle this for a second, closed. You press this new week button here, and then it will populate with a new week. You fill this out, week of Jan, whatever, and then you put in your habits and your goals. But again, keep in mind that you can customize this. So if you have certain habits that you want to populate every single time, like if you want make your bed to be in there 7 days a week, every single time you do that, you can go into that button and do that. It's really easy. And I show you how to do that. But you just fill it out, and then at the end of the week, you can toggle it and then drag it to old weekly habit trackers or just delete it. And again, because you do have access to it on your phone, I find myself usually checking these off more from my mobile device rather than my desktop. Okay, so now let's get into the next page, which is the content planner. Now, this of course might not be relevant for everyone because not everyone is a content creator, but if you're not, you might be able to repurpose this page for some other reason. So let's click into the page. So this is what I've always used as a content creator. These are just random ideas just to show you, but here's how it works. So basically there's these columns here, the idea, then the status. So you can mark this idea as in the ideation phase, the writing phase, ready to film, filmed, edited, uploaded. And of course you can change these statuses too. This is just what I have because this is like my workflow. And then platform. I have Shorts / TikTok because those are like the same for me really, Instagram, YouTube, and then if you have other ones, then you can obviously add those as well. The date I want it to go live and any notes that I want to add if there's anything there. But the cool thing is that everything is linked down to this calendar right here. So again, I'm a really visual person, so I like to see it in a calendar form as well, and with these tags and everything. And this calendar is linked to this database up here. So for example, if you move this live date, right, it's going live, January 6th. If we move it to January 7th on here, then it also moves to January 7th up here. So it's connected, which I love. And then you can also view these content ideas in different ways up here. So this is just a list of them, but you can also see it in a visual board. So you can, okay, this one's ready to film. You can, or, it has been filmed, so you can drag it over. And then again, it edits the, status or the status on this right here. Or you can see it just YouTube or just Shorts/TikTok. Or just Instagram. So I love the way that this works. It's again simple, but it's just really easy to like visually see and understand what's going on. And so when you have an idea though, what you do is you press new down here, but once you type it out, you press open. And then I also have this thing right here. It's called content template that you can use if you'd like. If you click on it, again, you can kind of create your own templates in here as well if you want something more specific, but it pops up with this right here. And I like to just do like a bulleted list of brain dumping, just like all my thoughts. And then if this is for YouTube, I'll fill in stuff right here. Or if this is for Instagram, I'll fill in stuff right here. Or if this is for TikTok, I'll fill in this stuff right here. Just kind of like whatever is relevant or whatever I feel like I need to fill in. So that is also there as well. And then last but not least in the everyday column is meal plan and groceries. So in this page, first we have a quick button right here of the recipe page. So again, I will show you this page in more detail later, but just a little sneak peek. It comes up with all of the recipes on the recipe page, but just for you to like have quick access to. But then there is the meal plan down here. So we just have, Monday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of this. And then there's also a grocery list so you can see what you need to get for the meals for the week right here. And again, as you're in the grocery store, you can check this off on your Notion as you go. And these days are all toggles. So once Monday's over, you can close it. Tuesday's over, you can close it to kind of clear up space and get rid of that clutter from your brain, which I really like to do. But so when a new week does start, again, we have this new week button right here. I'm gonna close that for a sec. Press new week, and then you just fill that out there, untoggle this, and then you have to untoggle everything, but then everything's right here and you can fill it out. And then once it's the end of the week, you can either delete or drag it to the old weekly meal plans. Although I think it's a great idea to keep the old weekly meal plans because sometimes when you don't know what to plan for yourself, sometimes it's helpful to go back and see what you ate the past few weeks. It just can give you ideas. Okay, so now let me walk you through my favorite column, the Dream Life column. And this 2026 vision page is my favorite page. So let's dive in. So this is where you put all of your goals and your vision for the year. So let me walk you through this page. So first it says, don't forget to reference my dream self when creating goals. And this links to another page, which I will show you in a little bit, but I'll just show you a quick little preview. It's a little bit about your dream self, but going back to this. So we have that up there, and then we have my word for 2026. You get to choose your word, obviously. The example here is radiance, and then you add a definition, either like the dictionary definition or your definition, what it means to you. And then up here we have my 3 biggest priorities for 2026. I personally think that it is very important to have like 3 clear priorities for the year. So this is where I like to put them. And usually for me, they aren't in any particular order, but if you want them to be in order, you can, do 1, 2, and 3. And then as you scroll down, you get to this big list of my goals. So like I said, I'm filming in November, so I don't know what my goals are yet. So these are just examples that I filled in to show you, but we have the goal right here. And then we have the category that it falls into right here. And so we have personal development, lifestyle/fun, career, financial, relationships, health. And of course you can delete or add some, whatever you want. And then a very important column, how to get there. So actually detailed steps for how to achieve these goals. And another very important column, priority. Not everything can be a high priority, and it's really important to understand that and understand which of these goals are like the highest priorities and which ones are a little bit lower. So you can mark them as low, medium, or high. And then my favorite part though right here is when you scroll down, each goal is connected to one of these things. So it creates like a little mini vision board. So basically once you add a goal up here, it automatically adds it down here into a box. And then all you do is just upload the photo. But I like this because it's a visual representation of your goals and it's kind of like a little mini vision board. And then if you scroll back up, you can also view these goals by category, you know, health, career, financial, like this, or also by priority, high, medium, and low. It is just super clear. I love how organized it is. This has been working amazingly well for me and I just really love it. So now let's go back to the home and go to the next page, which I already kind of gave you a little peek of, but the dream self page. So dream self, what does your dream self actually look like? To become that girl that you want to be, you need to know exactly who she is. And it's really important to become aligned with your dream self when you are making your yearly vision and your yearly goals. And when you are filling out your habit tracker and your agenda, everything should be aligned with this dream self. And so that's why it's in my Notion, because it's so important to come back to. So this page is really simple. It's kind of just like a bunch of questions getting more clarity around that dream self. So like, what are her values? What are her most important habits? How does she take care of her body and her wellness? What does her average daily routine look like? How does she put herself together and present herself? What are her core beliefs about herself and her world? And so this is just something where you can listen to some music and kind of get in the zone and fill out for yourself. And then the next page is also a favorite of mine. It is the monthly reflection page. So I think it's really important at the end of every month to reflect on how it went and, you know, what good things happened or what challenges happened or what did you learn from this month? What can you take forward going into the next month? I think self-reflection is a very powerful practice. And so this is what this page is about. So the monthly reflection page is, again, very simple, but if you untoggle this, these are just example answers, but it asks you these questions. What were my wins this month? What were my challenges this month? What I'm grateful for this month? What were my biggest lessons learned this month? How can I change or improve upon to make the next month better? And then once this month is over, you can close it and just keep it there and then press new month. And then you can type in February and then it's already there and you can just start filling it out. So it's super easy. And now the next page is just a little fun one. It is the bucket list page. So this is my personal bucket list. So I love it because it's just visual. And again, I'm such a visual person and I love photos and I love color. So I have my bucket list organized with to do and also complete. So these are things that I've done, right? So like get married, stay at the Ritz Paris, fantastic. But I also have the things up here to do. And I'm also, you know, like adding this as I go about life. So yeah, it's just kind of like a fun one to have. And I think it's important to not only keep in mind your goals, but also your bucket list items that aren't really goals, but are just bucket list items. So when you do check something off your bucket list, like throw a banger Christmas party. That's just, I want to throw a banger Christmas party one year, just all out. You can just drag it to complete and then it's there. So it's very simple. And then lastly in this column is the inspiration page. So basically this page is meant to be random sources of inspiration, motivation, and helpful reminders when needed. So things like YouTube videos, articles, photos, and quotes. So this is not meant to be where you just like save everything. This is meant to be where you save like the best of the best, like things that you want to have in your archives like forever and you don't want to lose. So whether it's YouTube videos or amazing articles you read or quotes that you always want to remember or even photos or what, you know, these are just from Pinterest, but whatever. This is just a great place to kind of house these things. So now let's tackle the second brain column. So I also love this one because I just love keeping track of everything. So first page on here is the book list. So I like to read a lot and I also like to keep track of what I read. I just like to do it. So that's what this is here. So basically the book name, the status, is it to read, in progress, or done? the author, the category. I have all these different categories here, but of course you can put in whatever categories you want. You know, if you only read fiction, then you could put in all the different fiction categories, whatever. And then I have score, you know, 1 through 5 stars. And then my favorite column is this favorites column. So basically, is this book a favorite of mine? So you can check it off. I really like having that. And then you can also go through and look at the tabs here. So first of all, like, it's a pretty long book list, and there's more, like, it's a very long book list here, but you can also look at the tabs. So there's tabs up here already organized: favorites, so you can just see all the favorites at once, complete books, in progress books, and to read books. So yeah, it's just a great way to keep track of everything. And now the next page is restaurants. I also love to keep track of the restaurants I go to. You know, it's nice to like be able to be like, oh, what was that restaurant that was good here? And then you just are like, oh, I can go there again. I just like keeping track of everything. So basically what I have here is restaurants, and these are all Nashville restaurants because I live in Nashville. But so basically you have the name of the restaurant here. And then this column says, have I tried? Yes or no, because I think it's also great to put restaurants on here that you haven't tried that you want to try. And then the neighborhood it's in. These are all Nashville neighborhoods, so you'd have to populate this with your own neighborhoods. The budget, whether it's $1 to $4 signs, and then also the stars, like what you rate it. Oh, and then lastly, keywords. This is really important. So you can just put in as many keywords as you want. So like for this one, I have oysters, but there's all these keywords that I have that I made for myself. And of course you can add more, but it's great to just be like, whatever keywords are relevant, because then you can actually search for different restaurants depending on the keyword. If you just click filter up here, it comes up right here, and you can be like, oh, let's search for Mediterranean, and then these Mediterranean places pop up. So it's just kind of nice to see that. Or if you're like, oh, I want to filter it by, you know, 5 stars only. Okay, here we go. It's just nice to be able to have it all organized like that. So, and then next in this second brain column is recipes. So I gave you a little sneak peek into this earlier, but so this is where I have some of my favorite recipes stored. And I love this again because it's visual. I love the photos. It's just so beautiful to me. So this is where I just have all of the recipes, and if you click into it, then there are tags that you can put here. So like protein, fish, gluten-free, dinner, lunch, and you can just tag whatever is relevant. And I have all these tags here, or you can make your own. And then the link for the whole recipe. I just like to save the link, so I have it. And then, is it a favorite? So this one is a favorite. And then I have these columns right here for favorites. So you can see all the favorites: breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, you know, all of that. So it's just a great way to keep track of anything. And if you're struggling to figure out what to eat or what to make, then this is just great to have. And it's a great way to store all of your recipes in one easy, pretty place. Next page is the home management page. So this is very simple. So this is just keeping track of the home. So first of all, home items to buy. Just like a random list of things that come to mind or things that I might want to buy. Projects to do, you know, I need to clean these air filters, and I want to put art above the couch and that kind of stuff. And then I also have a spot for paint colors here, because if you have a home, it might not be as relevant if you have an apartment, but if you have a home and once you start painting, like, you have to keep track of all these different paint colors. And I've done a good job, except for the dining room. I cannot figure out what it is. That one's just gone forever. But this is where I store it all, so that I can always come back to this if we ever need to do touch-ups or for whatever reason. And then I also have resources down here. So if you own a home, you know that sometimes you're like, you know, you called the air conditioning guy 2 years ago and you really liked him and you really liked that company, but then you're struggling to figure out what was that company's name, and you have to go look again. So this is where I just keep all of my resources, like pest control and garage repair and, you know, HVAC, junk removal, plumber, just like all that kind of stuff. So it's just great to have this, again, in the second brain. It doesn't need to be in your conscious mind, in your first brain. This is in the second brain. And then lastly, we have the travel planning page. So this is the travel planning page. So I have general travel to-dos right here, and then I have a packing list right here. So of course you can customize this as needed. Like if you wear contacts, you can add contacts here, probably to the toiletries section. But I just have a general list here. It's just great to have on hand. But back to this page. So basically, again, very visual. I like it visual. But these are like different trips or planned trips or potential trips. So this one was actually one that I already went on, but I saved to show you guys what it looks like when you click in on it. So again, I already went on this trip, so all the details don't matter, you know, like there's no privacy things here. So if I click on this, this is when I went to New York in October to meet up with my team and for us to work together. And then I hosted a hot girl walk there. So that's what this trip is. So Jillz Guerin NYC team meetup, location was New York. These were the dates. I had like a bunch of to-dos for this one. I had to set up the hot girl walk and do all the work related stuff and figure out outfits because we were doing a photo shoot, like all that kind of stuff. Travel info, where we stayed, the flights. Again, I already did this, it doesn't matter. And then the general itinerary, what we did every single day. And then there's also a section down here where you can embed a Google map of where you're gonna be. So this was around where we're gonna be. And it's kind of cool because you can like actually really like look into this and stuff and zoom in and, you know, bop around. And I just think it's kind of nice to have that. So that was this. So once this is done, I just deleted, I just kept this to show you guys, but then like these are the other trips that we have planned or that I want to do. So hopefully going to like Grand Cayman or something like that in February or around then. And then we have 2 weddings to go to. So I have like details of that in here. And then these are 2 like, maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to like start, you know, accumulating some info and putting it down here and just, you know, manifesting, I guess. So yeah, this is the travel planning page. So that is the whole Notion setup. It just works amazingly well. It keeps me really organized. Everything's really visual and clean and easy to read. And there's really a page for all of the important stuff. And again, of course, you know, if you do get the template, you can always add your own pages too, you know. If you want a page for like children management, like, you know, keeping track of your children's sports activities, you could do that, or for whatever. The other thing that I just want to note, the one other thing that is a part of my organizational system is my calendar app. I use the calendar app called Fantastical and I really like it. Notion does have like a Notion calendar now, but I haven't used it. I just really like my Fantastical app, so that's what I'm using. So yeah, like I've said, I think I've been using this system for about 3 years now, and it has just worked amazingly well. I love it. It's just so easy to use. I feel very organized, and also it just feels fun and pretty to use, which like that is important to me. So again, if you want to purchase the template, the link for that will be below. Remember that you can customize all of it to fit your style and the things that you want to add. You know, you have to really like make it your own. So when I send it to you, the Notion template obviously comes blank and you have to populate it, but all of the connections are built in and the formulas and everything, it'll still function the same, but you have to populate it. But I teach you how to populate it in that instruction video that I also send you. Or if you just love to like tinker and play in Notion and you wanna do this for yourself, you wanna make it yourself, that's great too. You can use this as inspo, you can copy it. But if you do purchase, then you get sent the link right away and you can start populating it, you know, right away. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found it valuable. And if you do get the template, I hope that you love it and you make it your own and you really get use out of it. I know a ton of you have already purchased it already over the past, you know, 1 or 2 years, and so many of you have loved it and shared your comments with me about how much you guys loved it, and I just love to hear that, so that makes me very happy. If you have any specific questions about my Notion template or about this whole life operating system, you can comment below and I'll try my best to answer them. But besides that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time in the next video. Bye.